Live from the Acres Broadcast Center inside East Stadium, this is the Husker Athletic Director Show with Trev Alberts. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Serve to Kenzie. Another great pass. Ani Evans chooses back row. Kenzie knuckles. Kaboom! She did it all on that one. It's 23-15.
Ball at the Wildcat 32. Snap back Casey. Picks it off with the knees. Steps, throws, takes a shot down the field looking for the end zone. The pass is caught, and that is a touchdown, Nebraska. Oh, what a grab on the far side.
Zioris Hurd with a good pass again. The set outside of Whitney Lonstein. Kaboom! She's in a hurry. At least all of her shots are. 20-8.
Will collect the wing to the near side. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks a tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Pepperdine volleyball. Bumped over to the left. Aaron swings. Stop. Match point, Big Red. Kaylin Hall. Kennedy on. 25-22. Nebraska wins it in 3.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our show tonight. What a treat. It's our first athletic director's show of the new school year. We have the vice chancellor in charge of and director of athletics for the Cornhuskers, Trev Alberts, with us in studio for the next hour. Last time I saw you, we were in Dublin, Ireland, entertaining about 5,000 Husker fans at a pep rally. How cool was that?
Well, it was incredible, and you did a great job with it, Greg, and I think our fans really appreciate what you and the team here in Husker Athletics does to, to bring to life our coaches and our student athletes, and so what a tremendous experience. I mean, and I brought a few of them along only because, but we've been getting a lot of emails actually from folks in Dublin that didn't know anything about American football, but not so much because of us or our team, but the interaction with our fans in Dublin. And we've been getting some emails from folks just talking about how incredible it was to interact with our fans, how much they appreciated our fans, and they've become Husker fans, and they are looking forward someday to maybe making a trip to Lincoln to watch us play here in Lincoln. So I just can't say enough about our fans and the way they conduct themselves, the way they represent our great state, and the way they support our student athletes. It's hard to define, and frankly, it's really humbling.
How did you feel like the team and everybody was treated while they were over there? I mean, the organizers put a lot of time and effort into this thing.
They really did. Actually, we had a Big Ten AD call this morning, and Kevin Warren, our commissioner, asked me to talk to the rest of the ADs. I think we, want to think a little bit about, as a Big Ten conference, expanding that sort of vision about broadening our brands, internationally. And both Derek and I, Derek the AD over at Northwestern, I think we're really similar in our feedback in the sense that, our teams were treated very well. The hospitality of the people in Ireland, but the organizers of the event, everything was first class. And really what's important is how the players treated. What are the accommodations like? What do the practice facility look like? And, the only thing that's a little bit challenging because of the raw numbers, the stadium didn't really have a locker room to accommodate that many, so you had to be a little bit creative there. But I got to tell you, I think 10 out of 10 in terms of experience. And you got to remember, I should say 9. It would have been a 10 if we had been able to win the game. But I'm just talking outside of the game itself. The field was in incredible shape. It was first class. Everything was done extremely well. The only thing that was a little bit different for us, of course, was it was a Northwestern home game. And so being there, it felt different, but a lot of it was promoting Northwestern, upcoming athletic events. It was a Northwestern home game. We had to remind ourselves of that. But just a tremendous experience. And, a lot of people, Greg, on our staff, and I hate doing this because, I'm only going to mention 2 names, but there's probably hundreds of people that deserve an awful lot of credit. But logistically, this challenge of bringing our team together, Jay Terry in the equipment room, he and his staff, we watch them. It's unbelievable the effort that they put forward to serve young people and to help our university. And Andrew Sims, logistically working through all of the details of making sure. This was a Herculean undertaking, and I want to salute the 2 of them. I hate to only mention 2 names because there's a lot of people that worked really hard. I want to thank all of our staff. I don't think our student athletes and football team probably has a total picture of the amount of work that went into making that experience. But I'm certainly disappointed that we sit at 0-1, but thrilled for the opportunity and experience, and grateful for how hard the folks in Ireland worked to be hospitable to Huskers.
Trev is with us for the entire hour, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. It is a loss, but it's 1 of 12, right? And you can't let one game define your season, and I think that's the challenge ahead of the coaching staff and the players.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this. I think it'll be an interesting week. I'm looking forward to watching. I listened to both coordinators today at their press conference, and I liked what I heard, and I agree with Coach Whipple. I think finishing is a really important thing and message for our offense. But, we talked about so many new coaches. We talked about new players through the transfer portal and trying to bring them together and create a culture and melding them together in a short window. And so to go to Ireland and be disappointed in the loss, disappointed in the way it happened, I think it'll really challenge them to stay together. Looking forward to watching them continue to grow, stay together, and play, I think, a very good North Dakota football team on Saturday.
Got a run of home games here now, so the chance to build a little momentum.
Really important. A great chance, again, to be back home in front of our fans. And I know we've saluted them a lot. I'm going to continue. Really a great feeling administratively to look across the board and be sold out through the Oklahoma game right now. I think it says a lot about our fan base. So we've got a lot of fun things that are coming up in these, this homestead that we're going to get to do. And Big Ten Network's tailgate's going to be down at Pinnacle Bank for North Dakota. That's going to be pretty cool. Of course, the Georgia Southern game, that's going to be our Ag Day, Nebraska Football Hall of Fame induction during the Oklahoma game for Zach Wiegert. Obviously, we're going to be honoring.
Did you play with Zach for 1 year? 2?
Yeah, Zach was a little bit younger than me. I think he was only 1 year.
Okay.
That Zach, but certainly a great player. So getting to honor him, and then obviously, I think it's Johnny Rogers' 50th anniversary of winning the Heisman Trophy.
Wow.
And the national championship team, and celebrating those in 1970 and 71. So a lot coming up in our home schedule, a lot to look forward to, and grateful for our fans to stay with our team and continue to support our football program.
Fantastic. Those are the next 3 weeks and then a bye week for this team. How about not having the bye week now? Any consternation to that? Northwestern is taking this week off. Your thoughts about it's a different approach to this thing? Well,
it is a different approach, and it challenges your program a little bit. But, if you can get through this weekend and get back on track, I like where our other 2 byes are. You get through the Oklahoma game, get a little bye there and catch your breath, and then a little bit later in the season, as you get a little bit further along, catching your breath a second time before you get into a real challenging slate later on, I think. So, obviously, right now you might think, man, it'd be great to have a bye after that first week. But if we can get through this week, then I think we like where the byes are at.
You got your body clock back?
I'm feeling better.
Are you?
I'm getting there. Yeah, back at it, ready to go.
It takes a day or so when you do it that way and then come back this way.
Yeah, it does. It does. I didn't sleep at all on the way there, but somehow I slept on the way back.
Well,
so I felt okay.
1 a.m. when we finally, I think, lifted off the ground. So
maybe that's what it was.
We were all a little tired. Art in Los Angeles for you, Trev, on our text line said, have you made any progress with some of the former players feeling like they're connected back to the program? And we've heard various examples of that. People feel like maybe they're not, once they're gone, they're kind of forgotten. Your thoughts about that?
We've tried everything. And to be honest with you, I think administratively at points we've failed, Greg. And it's been a real challenge. The challenge is every generation of former player has a different desire and want. And meeting all of those former players where they are has proved challenging. I can tell you that the athletic department last year, and I've presented this to them, spent over $200,000 in honoring former players and putting on events. And so the commitment's there. The challenge is how the resources are allocated. And, I'm a little bit sensitive, to be honest with you, about any communication that suggests that we're not supportive of the former players, because it's wholly not accurate, and be happy to discuss that in more detail with anybody.
Yeah, I had at the pep rally, I had a guy that played on the 71 team that said he just lives in Michigan now and just wish there was a way to maybe organize a football alumni group. And I think people have tried that in the past. It's a big undertaking, and you're right. What's important maybe to the 70s might not be as important to the 2,000 guys.
Well, what we did this year is, and we didn't do, is organically arranged by some former players. The Husker Football Former Letterman's Association actually exists. It's an organization, has a board. And the challenge for me is it's very difficult for administration. Right now, we're trying to win football games. And, being in constant communication with various groups about how they'd like to be honored or recognized proves challenging. So what we really wanted to do is to have one point of contact. And, the former Football Letterman Association is an opportunity for us to work directly with. So we're making good progress there, and we've made some financial commitments to them. And so we're gonna continue doing everything that we possibly can to make everybody feel as welcomed as they possibly can to be a part of what we're doing.
Since we had you on last in May, a lot has happened in college sports.
Yeah.
The Big Ten is growing with the addition of the 2 California schools in a couple of years and a gigantic TV contract announced a few weeks ago. Your thoughts about all the movement that's involved the league in the last 2-3 months?
Well, it's been really, really good, Greg. And again, I've said publicly, but I want to salute Commissioner Warren and the leadership of the Big Ten Conference. I think they've been bold. I think they've been aggressive. I think in a time of disruption, in whatever walk of life you're in, if you're engaged in a time of disruption, I think you have to be equally disruptive. And I don't necessarily believe that the Big Ten has led the disruption, but I think they've been willing and bold enough to participate. And I think, having UCLA and USC join the Big Ten and, just strengthens the brand of the Big Ten, strengthens the reach. I think there's a lot of benefit to the University of Nebraska. And obviously the media deal is reflective of what that value really is. So, the University of Nebraska, as I've said before, is very fortunate and privileged and blessed to be a member of the Big Ten Conference. Being competitively successful in the Big Ten won't get easier. It'll only continue to be challenged, and so our job is to continue working hard to find ways to be competitively successful. Many of our programs are. But I'm just excited about what the future looks like for the Big Ten Conference. I'm excited about what our media partners look like. I'm excited about, you and I were talking before we started here, and, the astronomical numbers that Fox was able to do with Nebraska playing Northwestern in Dublin is really remarkable. And, both of our teams were 3-9 last year. And you think about that.
Right.
And so that's the strength of the brand of the Big Ten Conference that we're a part of, and I think that's part of what Nebraska brings to it. I think that's really important. But, when you look at a Saturday that starts off in big noon kickoff on Fox, all linear, moves into a 2:30 Central window on CBS, and then finishes out in primetime on NBC. Nobody has done a better job in primetime in the NFL than NBC. They own Sunday night. And I think some of the cross-promotional things. So we'll have some new things. We're really trying hard to meet all of our fans where they are. We have generational fans who just want to participate on linear television. We have others that, and we'll have access, through cable with the Big Ten Network, and we'll get additional exposure through ESPN and other places. But then we also had to start thinking about some of these streaming options and direct-to-consumer and where other generations of fan consume live content. And so I think this deal really gives us an opportunity to broaden the reach and frankly gives us some of the resources necessary to ensure that we can be competitive nationally.
It is a break from ESPN, which was a former employer viewer.
Yeah.
Nervous about that? Any heartburn about that?
Well, I think, first of all, we're still engaged in conversations with the Big Ten Conference, and obviously our media deals are done. But the point is, I don't think the Big Ten is interested in not having a relationship with ESPN and ABC and Disney, and I don't think ESPN and ABC are necessarily interested in not having a partnership with us. So we're going to appear on their platforms. We're going to find ways. Obviously we're grateful to ABC and ESPN for what they've meant to the Big Ten. I think vice versa, the Big Ten has been very good for them. And so we'll look for ways to continue to partner with them, be very important long term.
Well, you laid this out back in May. You said the dream was maybe to have that all-day programming on 3 different big networks. Coach, the commissioner got it done.
He got it done.
Good for him.
And I think he would tell you he had some help. But this was a long, drawn-out process. I mean, we meet weekly We've had multiple in-person visits. I mean, there's a lot to think through here. You know, how does it affect your fan base? Our distribution's going to look a little bit different. But, you know, we were all educated about, how people are consuming. And, you know, there's a certain reality that, young people today aren't likely to sit down for 3.5 hours and watch a football game on linear TV. That's not how they consume it. So how do we find a way to grow that next generation of college football fans and Big Ten fans? I think this deal helps us get that done.
It's monstrous. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. A lot more to get to with Trev coming up.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Nebraska has taken over leadership from Princeton University in coordinating the U.S. physics community at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. For its role, Nebraska has been awarded over $50 million in National Science Foundation grants. This cutting-edge work at the world's largest particle accelerator helps physicists uncover the origins and makeup of the universe.
This Saturday, join us for another jam-packed day of Huskers football as Nebraska takes on North Dakota. Our coverage begins with Ben McLaughlin and Huskers great Brendan Stye on Huskers Game Day at 10:30 a.m., followed by countdown to kickoff at 12:30 p.m. Greg Sharpe and Matt Davison will give you all the play-by-play from kickoff at 2:40 through the final whistle before they hand things off to Bill Dolman and Huskers great Jay Foreman for the 5th quarter show. Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody will talk to Scott Frost and Huskers players in the head coach and locker room shows before Matt Coatney and Jay Foreman wrap things up with your calls on Big Red Reaction. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
It's more than a Lincoln, it's your Lincoln. Custom order your next luxury SUV with Woodhouse Lincoln today. Choose from the full range of Lincoln models and curate every detail to your deepest desires. From exterior color down to each accessory, our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will guide you to your next vehicle. Begin your custom order journey online at woodhouselincoln.com.
Pivot control has never been easier. T&L Irrigation now offers a new control panel called Precision Point Touch. It's a full-color 7-inch graphic touchscreen that's easy to use and gives you lots of great tools to make your irrigation faster and more efficient. Set up your pivots the way you want. You can update your older controls to the new Precision Point control panel too. Call your local T&L dealer or visit TLIRR.com. T&L Irrigation, like no other.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your premier John Deere dealership and proud partner of Nebraska Athletics. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment. solutions for every field.
Woodhouse Ford is your certified Ford dealer, serving drivers throughout Nebraska for 47 years. Our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Customers have been relying on Woodhouse Ford since 1975 for high-quality vehicles, knowledgeable staff, and exceptional service. Experience the Woodhouse Ford difference and shop at one of our 3 locations in-store or online at woodhouseford.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. It's our athletic director show for the month of August. Trev is with us until the top of the hour, 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question, or you can fire off a text. We do a text for you. Wanting to know, is the current construction at the stadium on schedule, and have you been able to dig deeper into the survey that you put out a couple months ago?
Yeah, great question. First of all, in Go Big Project, really pleased with the construction. And as we sit here, Greg, I mean,
looks good.
I'm not much of a construction management person, but it's a fabulous looking facility. I'm really proud of the team, and Houseman's doing a great job. Like anything, I think we've had some hiccups in terms of some of the challenges that a lot of construction's facing, but by and large, I think we're on time and on schedule and on budget, and looking forward to opening next summer. Obviously, a real focus at first is on some of because the general football operations has to be done, and so really pleased with where that project is right now, and again, just grateful for our donor support. We're going to have an opportunity to have the premier development facility in the country right here. And with all these changes we've talked about before, Greg, I'm not sure that a lot of institutions are engaged in this type of a project specific to not only football, but the rest of the student athletes. And so $165 million projects that's going to impact all of our student athletes, but it's going to be about development. I think the premier development facility in the country in college football, pretty exciting.
And with that, because of the construction, it kind of closes off some access to the stadium, but they're working on opening up some of that. What can folks expect?
Yeah, one of the things, last year it was really bad, and I know many of our fans were negatively impacted. I think this year what they're going to see is, while it's not going to be perfect, I think it's going to be a lot better. And so we've worked hard, our internal team, with the construction crew to make sure you're now going to be able to walk entirely around the stadium on game day. You're going to have that kind of access, and I think that was part of the problem that we had last year. So again, I just ask our fans to be patient with us. When you have a construction project that's this large, obviously it's pretty disruptive to the flow of fans, but our team's worked hard to try to improve that, and I'm hoping that our fans will be able to see that.
These 3 non-conference games, so the next 3 games, sold out.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Are tickets available, though, for the Big Ten games that start in October?
Yeah, there really are. We've got a lot of work to do there, Greg, and so I think what's exciting is Saturday will be sellout number 383.
Wow,
and
amazing.
Again, just a tribute to our fans, but we do have some ticket packages that remain available for those rest of those Big Ten games. We've got 4 games for $200 each. These are end zone seats, up a little bit, but I can just give you an update. Remaining ticket numbers as of Monday, we've got about 2,500 tickets remaining for the Indiana game. Illinois is a little bit more. We're at 4,100. Minnesota's at 2,900, and Wisconsin's at 3,400. So we've got a little bit of work to do on those Big Ten games. Obviously, I think our play on the field will certainly help us if we can continue to make some progress in these next 3 games. But just an update on where we are in terms of the sellout and what the ticket availability looks like.
Home opener Saturday, but you've had some home events already this school year. Soccer's had a handful of home matches. John Cook's volleyball team played 3 matches last week at home. He's got another good team, I think.
Yeah, I think John's doing okay.
Yeah?
I think his biggest problem is, and I think John's certainly up to it, but, the amount of talent that he has and trying to maintain that positive culture when there are probably young women on that team that deserve to be playing more, but you happen to be playing for the number 1, 2 ranked team in the country. So divvying up that playing time will be a challenge, but really proud of John. Appreciate his partnership and friendship and leadership. Really proud of our volleyball program, and again, proud of our fans who helped build that program. We don't have any ticket availability in the volleyball program. So also really proud of John Walker. He had a young team last year, and I went out and watched him play a little bit, went to a practice earlier, and he's got a really talented team. And they're sitting there at 2-1-1 right now, a couple of really important home games here for them, an opportunity to get a couple wins. So both those programs off to a real strong start.
They've got Portland State at home tomorrow night at Hibbner. If folks want to go out there and watch them play at 7 o'clock. Be busy out there because Husker volleyball also plays tomorrow night against Loyola Marymount in their matchup. You mentioned no ticket availability at the Devaney Center, but Husker volleyball is going to go to Omaha next week to play Creighton at the CHI Center. You might be able to slip in there and get a ticket for that match.
Yeah, that would be great. We just love. It's always a great matchup. We have a tremendous, competition with Creighton in volleyball every year. I know it's important to John. It's important to the state, and what's important to me is that we have a lot of red in the CHI Health Center. So we're encouraging our fans to get down there and enjoy a great match. Creighton's got a great team. Kristen's a great coach as well. I know John has a lot of respect for her. And so a great early season test on the road and, of course, playing at the CHI Health Center, which will be great. Hopefully we'll be back there.
In about 4 months.
In about 4 months. And so get a little, every venue plays a little bit different. I've learned this from volleyball coaches. The bigger the venue, the ball travels differently. The serves look a little bit different. So I think it's a really good opportunity for our fan base in Omaha and beyond to get a chance to see our volleyball program there.
Question from Michael and Beatrice on our text line. What steps are being taken to keep the focus of your student athletes and coaches on the football staff with all the outside noise about potential changes with the coaching staff? How do you handle all that? What advice do you give people?
It's challenging. I talked to Coach Frost last night, and we talked through some of those types of things. At the end of the day, we can't control social media. We can't control rumors, innuendo. What we can control is our focus and our effort and our support. The way I look at it is any amount of time and energy that I spend dealing with that sort of stuff really takes away from the opportunity to do what we need to do to continue making progress. Just like Scott and our coaching staff is trying to make the progress, we're trying to make progress administratively. There's a lot of work. I got a meeting with business affairs tomorrow. There's other things we're doing. And so stay focused, recognize a lot of it's noise, and winning solves a lot of problems.
Very good. Michael, thank you for the text down in Beatrice. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program. You need to step aside, work in a break. Also time to tell you that our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. More with the Husker Athletic Director coming up next.
It's time to amp up the fun now during the Ford Summer Supercharged sales event.
Just move on up.
Get great offers on select Ford vehicles, and you'll not only bring back the fun, you'll supercharge it. So stop by the Summer Supercharged sales event at your Ford dealer and discover how Ford can take your summer to a whole new level. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for information.
Just move on up.
The name of our new promotion says it all. Powerball First Millionaire of the Year. Through September 12th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket at any Nebraska lottery retailer and enter the voucher number to win a trip to New York City for New Year's Eve on December 31st, 2022. Plus, you'll also get a chance to win $1 million and become the Powerball first millionaire of 2023. Remember, this promotion ends on September 12th, so plan ahead and play today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Let Shelter Insurance get you in the game this football season. The Nebraska Huskers are gearing up for another big year, and this is your chance to win tickets from Shelter Insurance and the Husker Radio Network. Contact a Nebraska Shelter agent, and they'll register you for a chance to win tickets to one of 4 home football games this season. Only Shelter agents can register you, so call, email, or drop by for your chance to win. Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com/Huskers and ask them to register you to win.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I'm so glad we called SOS. Our AC is Dakota's.
I'm always Dakota's.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Crawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't Dakota's, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition guaranteed. Take it from Dakota's. We will keep you cool this summer.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hi, thanks for telling my family and me about Toyota's national sales event.
Oh, you're welcome.
We got a new RAV4 during the event, and it's been great.
Well, that makes me happy. Right now through September 6th, it is the best time to drive off in a new Camry Hybrid, Tacoma, and more. So what are you up to?
You know, we took the RAV4 to a great spot. We've hiked, rafted, and now we're exploring a cave.
Amazing. You're inside a cave right now?
Yep.
Well, I'm glad the RAV4 could make it all happen.
Yeah, my wife talked me into spelunking. I'm actually a complete and absolute amateur. Huh, I could have done without the echo on that.
Toyota's national sales event is on. Visit your participating Toyota dealer today to enjoy every last second of summer. Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 6th.
The name of our new promotion says it all. Powerball First Millionaire of the Year. Through September 12th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket at any Nebraska lottery retailer and enter the voucher number to win a trip to New York City for New Year's Eve on December 31st, 2022. Plus, you'll also get a chance to win $1 million and become the Powerball First Millionaire of 2023. Remember, this promotion ends on September 12th, so plan ahead and play today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
This Saturday, join us for another jam-packed day of Huskers football as Nebraska takes on North Dakota. Our coverage begins with Ben McLaughlin and Huskers great Brendan Stye on Huskers Game Day at 10:30 a.m., followed by countdown to kickoff at 12:30 p.m. Greg Sharpe and Matt Davison will give you all the play-by-play from kickoff at 2:40 through the final whistle before they hand things off to Bill Dolman and Huskers great Jay Foreman for the fifth quarter show. Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody will talk to Scott Frost and Huskers players in the head coach and locker room shows before Matt Coatney and Jay Foreman wrap things up with your calls on Big Red Reaction. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe back with you. It is our first Athletic Director show for the 2022-23 school year. I can't believe we're in that school year. Where did the time go? You had one of the most honored and decorated track and field coaches in the history of the sport retire a couple weeks ago, Gary Pepin. What a career, huh? What a career.
Yeah, you know, Gary's just an absolute legend, an amazing person. He did an awful lot for track and field, not only at the University of Nebraska, but more broadly. And you look at all of the change in Nebraska over the years, from the Big 8 Conference, the Big 12, the Big 10, didn't miss a beat, continued doing amazing things. So just really, really proud of Gary, and we're going to look for ways to try to, you know, he's not a guy that wants to be in the limelight. He doesn't want to, you know, get a lot of attention, but there's got to be some way, you know, that we can properly honor the contributions that Gary Pepin has made. I mean, I think it's 42 years. I mean, that's
Crazy.
A lot of service, and
that's a big squad too. People don't realize how big the track and field squad is.
it's a large roster, both men's and women's, and consistently very successful, and just really, really pleased. Gary did it the right way, and you know, we're going to miss him here, but he's always going to be a part of the program. He'll be around, but excited about the future. I think we've got a great future for track and field.
I sense a future Nebraska Sports Hall of Famer, Gary Pepin. I think that might happen at some point.
He's got a shot.
Got a shot. Justin St. Clair is his successor. Your thoughts about promoting him up? He was on the staff.
Yeah, Justin is a tremendous worker. I mean, you know, the results speak for themselves. You look at what he's done, had a great reputation. Again, Gary deserves a lot of credit for hiring Justin, right? Brought him in, had this great reputation in the throws area. He's done nothing but affirm all of that, and we want to give Justin an opportunity to lead and to continue growing this program. But I think he'll do a great job. The student athletes are thrilled and been very, very positive about his hire. The other hire is Judd Cornell. I'd like to point him out. You know, we hired a new men's golf coach, and Judd's one of ours, and comes back. You know, he's at Creighton University, did a great job for Creighton, and it was a tough conversation with Creighton's AD just to let Marcus know that, and he was disappointed and in recognizing, but he knew that Judd would have future opportunities. So really excited about those two hires. I think they're going to do a great job with those programs.
Fantastic. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We've got a couple more that I'll get to as we make our way through this. This is also a big year because it's the 50th anniversary of the signed legislation for Title IX, and I know you have a lot of events planned throughout the school year, and you're going to do something each and every home football game.
Yeah, Title IX is something that the University of Nebraska obviously takes very seriously, and the beauty of at the University of Nebraska is we've got a lot of history to honor. And, you know, Dr. Hibner was a trailblazer. You know, Pat Logston was a trailblazer.
No doubt.
You know, and so, yeah, in this game we're going to have an opportunity to honor the late Barb Hibner during the game. Coach Ravel is going to be accepting that on her behalf. And so fans that come to the game will see Coach Ravel down there as we try to have a regular opportunity to honor those trailblazers and women who've made a huge impact on the University of Nebraska and Nebraska athletics. And by the way, Rhonda Ravel's made a pretty darn big impact here as well. And
No doubt.
an outstanding coach, but very well respected administratively and with our coaching team.
If she took a trip about a month ago to Europe and biked, she bikes all the time.
Yeah, she puts some of us young people
to shame.
She's got tremendous energy. What I love about her is, you know, inevitably as we grow older, whether it's administratively or coaching, you worry about, you know, is the passion still there? Let me tell you something. her passion is, always at a 10. And I really respect that. And I've learned a lot from her. And I admire her a lot.
There'll be a big Title IX rally on Saturday, October the 8th. We'll have it's in conjunction with fall softball, to mention Rhonda right there. We'll have more information as we get closer to that date. But again, that is Saturday, the 8th of October. No home football game that weekend. In fact, Huskers play a Friday night game at Rutgers that week. On a text line, Trev sounds wound up or stressed. Hang in there, Trev. We love your style. I don't think you look stressed.
I don't know. I don't feel stressed. I'm probably wound up. It's game week. Once we get into this regular flow of competition, I mean, that's why we're in this business, right? And,
That's exactly right. Exactly right. It was announced a couple days ago that there'll be a big basketball kickoff event at the end of September. ESTG is going to perform. Not really on my iPod, but the tickets are on sale for that now, and I know the teams will be excited for that night.
You have an iPod?
Somewhere in my drawer. I read the other day that Apple is discontinuing them. They still make them, but they're stopping production of those this year.
Okay.
I had that on the Business Channel the other day. I saw that coming down. So
I don't know much about iPods, but I will say I'm really excited about both of our basketball programs. I'm excited about Coach Williams and her growth, and you look at where that team is and a lot of what she has coming back. And I know a lot's been made about Fred and the roster turnover each year, but I'm a little familiar with some of the additions to the roster that he's brought in, and I think our fans are going to be really pleasantly surprised with what they see on the court, both for men's and women's basketball. And so it's just crazy, as you mentioned earlier, how quickly that summer went. We're back into this mode, and looking forward to supporting those programs at PBA.
402-413-2400. That's the number for you to dot us up with a comment or question. On the text line, a question for you. How do we line up getting a facility tour of the stadium? Is there a number, a website they can go visit to get information about doing a tour?
Yeah, actually, you can just go to our website, go to huskers.com, and up at the top, you can look on and you can fill out a form and you can get all the access you need right there.
The website got a little refreshed last week. Looks good. I like it.
We're trying to update ourselves as well. And again, it's back to how do people consume content. And the reality is, while there's some wonderful long-form writing that people still participate in, a lot of people are just consuming through more videos and those types of things, more intuitive and quick, maybe not quite as extensive. So I like the refresh. It'll take a little bit of time for some folks to kind of figure out how to navigate through it, but kind of thought it was time to refresh Huskers.com.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400. Call or text. We're back with more with the Huskers Vice Chancellor in charge of Director of Athletics, Trev Alberts. That's next.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Lo hace por derecha, busca hacia la zona, está dentro, anotación, Huskers!
Hey Huskers fans, this Saturday, the Huskers Radio Network is proud to present Nebraska football in Espanol. Coverage of the Huskers matchup with North Dakota begins at 2:30 p.m. Central. Tune in at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Husker Athletics offering a Big Ten mini plan for football, the 4 conference home games, $200 for a ticket for $50 per game. Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin. If you have interest in that, we've made it really easy. Go to the website huskers.com/tickets. That first game is a Indiana game on October the 1st. Few minutes left with Trev Alberts here on our first Athletic Director show for 2022 and 23. I read in the notes the other day, I think we have like 26 football players who are playing this year as graduates. That's amazing to have that many people that already have their diploma that are still competing.
Well, first of all, I think you have to salute our coaches in football for the type of young men they're recruiting. But Dennis LeBlanc and his team are absolute superstars over in the academic center and in what they do to support young people. It's truly remarkable. There is no place in the country that works harder at making sure that young men and young women leave this institution with a college degree than Dennis LeBlanc and his team, and I'm grateful for him. I was the beneficiary of that same effort as a student athlete when Dennis was here previously, so I'm grateful to him.
Trev, we had academic counselors on that charter to
Absolutely.
help the guys do some schoolwork while they were over there.
Well, it was the first week of school for us. I mean, Northwestern's on the quarter system, and so they don't start school yet for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But that was part of our challenge in working with our campus is what can we do to ensure that this team, when they come back, we don't have players that are a week behind in school. And so, we made that financial commitment to try to bring some help over to make sure our students were well adjusted and moving forward appropriately academically.
Bryant in Omaha. Trev, can we please play Can You Feel It right before kickoff again? It's been a couple years. It's not the same without it.
Well,
so put that on your list.
Let me write that down. No, we take that stuff seriously. Brandon Meyer and our marketing team works hard to try to make sure that the experience around the actual game is a positive one, and there's changes from time to time, but we'll see where we go with it.
Jim in our chat room wants to know what about beer, alcohol sales in the stadium?
Well, we. That's always a hot topic. The reality is, as we saw over in Ireland, there's a lot of things to consider beyond just the obvious of, well, why don't we do this? Some people would like to have this. If you are going to contemplate something of that nature, you're going to have to make sure you have all the infrastructure in place. And so over in Ireland, when the Wi-Fi went down, obviously there was an issue. And so we don't have the necessary Wi-Fi in place for point of sale and other things in critical spots. So we are working and on a broad array and menu of items that are going to be necessary as we think about what our stadium looks like in the future.
Yeah, for the folks that didn't know, at Aviva Stadium, the Wi-Fi went down. They weren't taking cash, so it was all card transactions. They couldn't do anything, so they just gave it away. Food, drinks.
We're not doing that.
Imagine that hit on your bottom line if you had that happen in a home game.
We'll take it out of Greg's budget.
There you go. Yeah. It'll give you about a nickel and a half. Jeremy in Texas says he's a huge fan of you as a player, and he says, I was 8 maybe when you're playing. You didn't need to put that in there, Jeremy. Even more of a fan of you as an athletic director. Keep doing what you're doing. Lead this proud athletic program back to greatness.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. I do appreciate that, and you know, we feel the support. I will say this: our coaches, our administration feel the support of Husker Nation. And by the way, we're not immune from being accountable to our decisions, and that's okay. And people don't have to agree all the time, and it's okay for them to express that as well. But I also, you know, recognize that we do feel the support, and we're grateful for it, and we're working hard every single day. As I said a year ago when we started, we're not going to be perfect, Greg, but we're going to do everything we can to make decisions and recommendations that we believe are in the best long-term interest of the University of Nebraska and our athletic department.
Doug in Norfolk said, I believe I saw that Nebraska football had the highest graduation rate in the conference. Is that correct? I don't know if that's
No, Doug's
accurate.
close, though. It's the highest GSR rate that we've ever had in the athletic department, and I think we were 3rd in the Big Ten.
Okay.
Which is really remarkable when you talk about, and I don't have the exact numbers, but I can only tell you, and I deserve no credit, this is our coaches and Dennis LeBlanc and staff, but if you look at the trend of our GSR rates over the years, it's been remarkable of where we've come. And that's really, really important to the core values of this place. Obviously, competitive success will always be significantly important, but we're going to do it all at a high level. And I'm really glad that Doug pointed that out. It's something to be really proud of. And so I think we were tied for 3rd highest GSR rate in the Big Ten Conference.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really incredible. All right, 3 straight home games. This town changes. With
Yeah.
all the folks that come in here, it's like the Super Bowl 7 different times. I can't wait to see everybody on Saturday.
I can't either. You know, we're going to have some recruits in town. It's going to be 85 degrees. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be beautiful. And at least I hope. I haven't checked my weather.
I think it's the same. Yeah.
You know, I think so. Love to have a great Saturday. And you know, they always say the greatest progress you make is between game 1 and game 2. So looking forward to seeing what that progress looks like in some key areas. And by the way, yeah, there were some things in our game, you know, against Northwestern that weren't great. But there was also some things that were really, really good. And so we'll see where it goes from here, and just appreciate all the support of our fans.
I think we'll see some folks wearing green because North Dakota, they'll travel a little bit down here.
Yeah, you know, back when I was at UNO, you know, their hockey program, we were the rival, designated rival, and they love coming to Nebraska. They love the passion of Nebraska fans. And so it's part of these types of games. You know, that fan base isn't going to have an opportunity to be at a place like Memorial Stadium very often. And so kind of a bucket list thing for some of them. So we do expect to have quite a few people in green, and that'll be great. We'll welcome them here and expect a really good game on Saturday.
After that travel trip, I'm ready to be here for a little while. So this is good.
Yeah, this is going to be great. And have a nice homestead and stand and like to see some momentum. Let the players settle in a little bit and help the team get some momentum and get that fan support where we need it to be.
You going to be able to catch some volleyball this week?
Oh, absolutely. We'll do our best. May try to get over to soccer a little bit as well. You know, we're empty nesters now, Greg.
So you have nothing to
I have
hold
no
you back.
excuses. And my wife doesn't really want to see me all the time. So you'll see me out and about. Yeah, look forward to watching each of our programs continue to compete at a high level.
You can only watch so much America's Got Talent. So you got to get out and see some other events.
I don't watch that show.
You don't watch that show. Does John?
I'm on my
save you,
iPad.
Does John save you a seat somewhere over there that you can watch? Or?
You know, he does, and I'm really grateful for that because I like to be, there's a danger to this, but I want to be down by the action.
Sure.
Because I just want to feel the energy. And so I kind of carved out these 2 little seats, my wife and I sit down. It happens to be right on the, I don't know, the main row there, right next to the opposing team. And so I can hear, it's fascinating. But if you get down low and you watch those athletes on that ball, you'll be shocked at just how strong they are, how athletic they are, and how good they are.
It's incredible.
And I love being down there.
Good. Have fun. Thank you for coming in.
You bet.
Trev Alberts with us here on Athletic Director Show for the month of August. Our hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Our football show with running backs coach Brian Applewhite next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse Lincoln offers more than just vehicles. Steeped in tradition, Lincoln customers are offered 100 years of car building excellence, insightful technologies, luxury interior amenities, and benefits of the state-of-the-art showrooms and service departments. Convenient pickup and delivery, and an online buying experience that can be done anywhere. The simplicity of purchasing and owning makes shopping the Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer an easy choice. Explore how Woodhouse Lincoln can change your drive today at woodhouselincoln.com.
Let Shelter Insurance get you in the game this football season. The Nebraska Huskers are gearing up for another big year, and this is your chance to win tickets from Shelter Insurance and the Husker Radio Network. Contact a Nebraska Shelter agent, and they'll register you for a chance to win tickets to one of 4 home football games this season. Only Shelter agents can register you, so call, email, or drop by for your chance to win. Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com/Huskers and ask them to register you to win.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
This is the Nebraska Radio Football Show, proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel Seedsmen place products to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com. And your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com.
Nice jitterbug move, and it bouncing the outside 40 to the 50-yard line to the 40, 30-yard line, 20. That's Grant, 15, 10, 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Anthony Grant with an electrifying move at the line of scrimmage. Scoots to the outside and dashes down the sideline. Snap back. They give it off to Grant, right side. He is in. Touchdown, Nebraska. And the Huskers have the lead back here in Ireland. Vokalek the wing to the near side. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks a tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. He comes back toward the line of scrimmage. Snap back to, in case he keeps it himself, he leans. He is in. Touchdown, Nebraska. Yes! Here we are. It's our Nebraska football radio show. Running backs coach Brian Applewhite will join us here in just a couple of minutes. Huskers are back getting ready for their home opener Saturday against North Dakota. Obviously a team that's disappointed with the outcome of the opener with Northwestern in Ireland. As I've told people throughout the week, everything about the week was fantastic except the end result of the game. And Jessica, as you and I have talked the last couple of nights on Sports Nightly, there were a lot of good things that happened in the game. There were things that have to obviously be fixed, but as Mark Whipple said today in his media session, as he went over his tape, there was more that he was encouraged by than he was discouraged by.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've been saying all week. And I did a lengthy conversation with Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, and they talked about the positives, and they feel good about some of the things that they were able to do and build upon moving forward. I understand that, lost so many close games a year ago that you can get that same sentiment because losing another close one out of the gate. But for this offense and for those new players, they're excited about some of the things that they were able to do. They understand that absolutely there are things to improve on, but the things that, the positives, there are a lot of positives that they can work on and continue to build on moving forward throughout the season.
Going to have Coach Applewhite here in the next couple of segments. What do you think of the running backs that we saw? We didn't see them all, and that's, I think, a question we'll get to, but the ones we did see.
Yeah, I mean, I have been telling you all camp how impressed I was with A.J. Allen.
Right.
And I'm not surprised in the least that he got his number called. And he was a guy that Jeremiah jumped out to Jeremiah too. And Anthony Grant, we all knew, we've seen the flashes that he can do. I don't know about Gabe Irvin. We heard about the great camp that he had. And again, I've talked to you about this a little bit off air, but a lot of times when you have an ACL tear, you can be back and you can be full speed, but game speed is so much different than practice speed. You can be full speed and full go in practice, but it usually takes a year to get back in. Now you got to get those reps to continue to build off of that. So I'll be anxious to hear about what he says about Gabe Irvin. And we heard Coach Frost address Ramir, and hopefully we'll see more of him moving forward.
Yeah, I think they felt like that's a guy we got to get on the field. We got to get Ramir out there on the field, and Gabe too. And so we'll address that with Coach Applewhite coming up here in just a little bit. Our chat with the coach tonight, proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel Seedsmen place products to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com. I've saw a couple of players see the coaches in the last 24 hours, and I've asked all of them, how you doing? Have you gotten your body clock kind of back? And I think everybody is. And Nebraska people have been questioning Nebraska, and I asked Trev Alberts this last hour, do you have some heartburn for not taking the week off? I don't think so. I think the bye week will do this team better in 3 weeks than that.
I think they needed to play again. They needed to not – it would have been a long 2 weeks, and you play, you see what the things that you got to address, and you need to get back to it and address it. And I don't think any of the players, right out of the gate. Now, if this would have happened mid-season and you turn right around and play right back to back, that would have been a different story. But out of the gate, the first and second games of the season, I don't think anybody is too concerned about it. And I think they're glad to be able to quickly get back out on the field and build off of what they did and figure some of those kinks out.
Yeah, and get a win.
Yes.
I mean, get a win because it's sitting on this. That's the one thing about this sport of football is you sit on it for a week. It's not like basketball where you may have a game in 3 days or baseball where you may have a game the next day. It sits with you for 7 days, and it's not a fun feeling. So I'm sure they're anxious to get out there. We had Mr. Alberts in here last hour. Anything catch your attention with his conversation?
I guess the beer sales, because that was I get asked that a lot.
Yeah, not going to happen here.
And we got to, give it some time. But just the issues that we saw in Ireland about it, and that was a
legit
big issue for them, and they lost a lot of money on that deal. Trying to think.
I thought it was interesting that he said he had a call today with the other Big Ten ADs, and he said, great experience. If you get the opportunity, I think your student athletes would enjoy it. I bet you've seen that at a Big Ten game over there.
Well, and yeah, I think everybody, because it was so well done by the people that put on the event, and it wasn't too much for the team where, it tired you out, but you got to experience it. It was a good balance, and I think everybody that went over there as a staff enjoyed it too, and so. And then just the way that Husker fans traveled. So, yeah, he said 9 out of 10. It would have been 10 out of 10,
right,
but 9
exactly.
out of 10.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
It was a really good trip other than the end of the game, and then that's what sours you. But I think even and I think there was 14,000 Husker fans there. I think they would all tell you they had a wonderful time, treated so well by the Irish people. I had so many fun conversations just on the streets. Somebody would stop me and ask me about the game. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I obviously enjoyed my conversations that I had about asking them about.
That was fun. Was that like a rugby team, some of those guys?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Originally, somebody thought that, but
no,
they thought it was Gaelic football players.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But it wasn't. But the conversations that we were having, it was just hilarious. But they were all so excited that Nebraska was there and enjoyed it, and some of them knew more than others. But we're not just because of the interaction that our group had with them, but because they were interacting with Husker fans all throughout the week, and so they loved meeting the Nebraska folks, and that's what you heard a few of them say, hey, I'm on that Nebraska bandwagon now, even though they knew nothing about it before. Right. They didn't even know, they thought a Cornhusker was a hot dog. But, they're chanting Go Big Red by the end of the night and just getting to interact with Husker fans. And not surprising that the Irish folk that didn't know anything about football fell in love with Nebraska fans over there.
Hey, Dorothy Lynch, home style, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. We're going to have some fun during our football shows this year, looking back at a great play in Husker history. I'm going to take you back to the 1995 Orange Bowl, the Huskers against the Miami Hurricanes, and the one player all Husker fans love, a fullback, got involved in the play. Corey Schlesinger finding the end zone there. Huskers win that game, their first national championship for Coach Osborne, 24-17. What a great moment. Again, brought to you by Alumni Hall. They are your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com, Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. It is our football show for the week, moved up a night because of volleyball tomorrow night. Will knock us off of the air, so only able to get a few minutes with Brian Applewhite, Husker running backs coach. We're back with him next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The name of our new promotion says it all. Powerball First Millionaire of the Year. Through September 12th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket at any Nebraska lottery retailer and enter the voucher number to win a trip to New York City for New Year's Eve on December 31st, 2022. Plus, you'll also get a chance to win $1 million and become the Powerball First Millionaire of 2023. Remember, this promotion ends on September 12th, so plan ahead and play today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
Subaru loves building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The 2023 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. With 182 horsepower, you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it in a Crosstrek. 182 horsepower engine available on select models. DeToe Subaru, located at 2750 Jamie Lane in Lincoln, and online at DeToeSubaru.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers. Conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers. This Saturday, join us for another jam-packed day of Huskers football as Nebraska takes on North Dakota. Our coverage begins with Ben McLaughlin and Huskers great Brendan Sty on Huskers Game Day at 10:30 a.m., followed by countdown to kickoff at 12:30 p.m. Greg Sharpe and Matt Davison will give you all the play-by-play from kickoff at 2:40 through the final whistle before they hand things off to Bill Dolman and Huskers great Jay Foreman for the fifth quarter show. Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody will talk to Scott Frost and Huskers players in the head coach and locker room shows before Matt Coatney and Jay Foreman wrap things up with your calls on Big Red Reaction. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Save with low price lockdown from Hy-Vee. We've locked down prices on hundreds of your favorite everyday items. Prices are locked down for months and months on major leading name brands. The products that you like, the products that you want, and products that you'll want to stock up on. And all of the prices are locked down until we unlock them and lower them even more. Low price lockdown. Deals you can't beat anywhere. Only at Hy-Vee.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your premier John Deere dealership and proud partner of Nebraska Athletics. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Let Shelter Insurance get you in the game this football season. The Nebraska Huskers are gearing up for another big year, and this is your chance to win tickets from Shelter Insurance and the Husker Radio Network. Contact a Nebraska Shelter agent, and they'll register you for a chance to win tickets to one of 4 home football games this season. Only Shelter agents can register you, so call, email, or drop by for your chance to win. Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com/Huskers and ask them to register you to win.
Inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Our Husker football radio show for the week and night earlier because of Husker volleyball tomorrow night. Delighted to be joined now by Husker running backs coach Brian Applewhite. Is your body back on clock? How was that transition going over and coming back?
You know, the transition coming back felt a little easier than going over. I'm a morning person anyways. I get up probably about in between 4:30 and 4:45 in the morning. So I didn't go to sleep when we came back, and my body kind of adjusted. Now, I slept hard Sunday night through Monday. But, you know, me being the type of person I am, I was anxious to get back to work. And so I kind of think that my motivation to be awake was a little more than what it was than it's been in the past, really.
How'd you feel like the trip went, minus the outcome of the game, but just the logistics of taking a team over there and practicing over there and all that? How was that?
It was outstanding. I thought I've never left the country, and so then we left the country with 120 kids plus a lot of support staff, and I thought
guys like me hanging on. Yeah.
yeah. And I thought the kids handled it unbelievable. There was never any distractions. They were on time to everything. When the bus was supposed to leave at a certain time, they were on the bus 5 minutes early. When we were time to leave and head back to the hotel, they were on the bus and ready to go back. We didn't have any issues, that would create any peripheral opponents while our trip was out there. And I think, for the most part, I think all of them really enjoyed it. An opportunity to go to Ireland, Europe. I mean, I'd never been to Europe before. I'm 47, so it was an unbelievable trip and an experience. Just unfortunate how the game ended.
Beautiful stadium. The field looked like it was in terrific. I mean, they wouldn't let anybody touch that thing until you guys went out there to warm up.
Oh yeah, we the first day we got there, we stepped on the grass maybe 1 foot, and it was like security guards were on you right away. Get off the grass.
Yeah.
Like, okay. No, the field, the turf was a beautiful stadium, just an outstanding venue, and the fans that were not Northwestern Nebraska fans were into it. Everywhere we went. They loved American rules football as we traveled around Ireland, but the stadium was an unbelievable stadium. The turf was nice. It was beautiful. It was a great experience overall.
How the players bounce back from it? You said you've kind of recovered. You're feeling pretty good. How about the guys you deal with?
Bounce back. They understand, and I think that they all know that was a game that should not have ended the way it ended. And we looked, at least in my position, we looked at some missed opportunities that we possibly could have changed some things, maybe changed the drive here, changed out. I don't know if they had changed the outcome of the game, but could have changed the drive, which eventually could change the outcome of the game. But again, I think this team has learned, it's a process. And no matter what the outcome is, if we win that game, I think they would have bounced back the same way they did. It's a process. It's a day-to-day process. It kind of be the best that I can be every day, and then the next day hit repeat. I've seen that from my running back room this week. They came in Monday morning, or we actually practiced Monday afternoon, and it was work as usual. They were working hard. They were running. They were sprinting. Their focus was high. Yesterday, the focus was high. The attention to detail was high. So I'm starting. Today was the same. And today is Wicked Wednesday, so we threw the hardest things that could possibly happen to them on Wednesday, and the focus was extremely high. The attention to detail was there, so I'm starting to see that, the process is they're starting to embrace the process and understand what it takes to be the best that you can be and the best version of you every day.
Nebraska 811 says, go dig. Right before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. Brian Applewhite with us. It's our Husker Football Radio Hour for the week. Huskers back from their big trip to Ireland, getting ready to go. How big of a body language guy are you? If you see slumped shoulders or heads down, do you see that, and does that concern you? And have you seen much of that since the game ended Saturday night?
After the game, I did see a lot of negative bad body language, and that was expected. But I'm a huge body language guy because people see that, you see that, and how you carry yourself is also how you're going to conduct yourself. Life is going to hit you in the face. I tell my running backs this all the time, and this is true in life. You're going to get knocked down, and it's okay to get knocked down, but it's not okay to stay down. And we talk about that every day because, to me, this game teaches life. There's going to be situations in life where you're going to have to face adversity, and you've got to face the issue. And every day I put them through something in practice where they have to face an issue because if you can learn to face the issues right now in the football field, when it actually means something, when you're done playing football, it's all over, and your family needs you to stand up and face an issue for them, you'll be able to do it.
All right, let's dive into the game. Anthony got over 100 yards, had the big 46-yard touchdown run. I know you probably like to have a 100-yard rusher each and every week, so you got to check that one off the list. How about the way he played in his first game as a Husker?
Oh, I was extremely pleased with the way he played. He came out and he had a look in his eye. He ran hard. He broke some tackles. He picked up some tough conversions, caught a big catch on an empty set, picked up 16 after that. He played well. He can play better. I sat down with him and we watched about 10 clips where he could have hit a hole a little bit different. His eyes could have been somewhere else, and he understood. And, and it was the first game. And then I go back after I got done speaking to him about it. I kind of looked back and I said, well, it was the first game all 5 of those offensive linemen had played together. It was the first game I'd coached with Coach Whipple. First game Coach Whippet coached with Coach Raiola. First game I'd coached with anybody on this staff. It was a lot of firsts going into that. And that's no excuse. But what happened in that game. But what we need to do and what we have done, and I think what the kids are learning is learn from those mistakes. And we kind of preach to them, great teams and great players don't make the same mistakes twice. And there's a lot of little things that we didn't execute at a high level. Because when we executed at a high level, we were moving the ball up and down the field. And we weren't executing at a high level. And I'm talking about all 11 players on offense. We weren't executing at a high level. We didn't move the ball the way we could have.
Coach Whipple said today that he was more encouraged than discouraged after he watched the tape. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I totally agree. Because there's a lot of fixable things. It wasn't a schematic thing. It definitely was not an effort thing. It was details. It's a detail thing. And those things are being addressed, being corrected on a day-to-day, being reminded. And you see the biggest improvement since I've been coaching, and my head coach, Coach Glenn, Lincoln guy, called me yesterday and it reminded me that the biggest improvement you have in any sport is from game 1 to game 2. And I'm looking forward to see this team play on Saturday. I think they're looking forward to get back because you always want to get that taste in your mouth. Football is not like basketball where you might lose on Saturday, but you got another game on Monday. Or baseball. You might have another game that day.
Absolutely. I mean, it's once a week. That's why every game is so important. The first drive of the game was a thing of beauty. But Matt and I on their broadcast said that drive doesn't happen if Anthony doesn't get that 3rd and short on the first set of downs to keep the drive alive. It started to hum after that, but he had to fight off a tackler in the backfield. You got to love that. I hope you put that up there and let the guys see that because that was a great play.
Yeah. We have a pre-snap process, and one of them is know the down the distance and where the stick is. And he did an excellent job of knowing where the sticks were, and he knew what he had to do to get it, and he knew what the play design was for and where was the hit. And, some things didn't go exactly right, but his anticipation of what he needed to do on that particular play was the reason why he was able to pick up that first down. I mean, he ran what I call extreme pad level. His leg drive was great. And they all did, all of them when they played. They did some really, really good things, which made it encouraging.
That's my favorite play of the game for him. And I know everybody's going to go, well, the 46-yard touchdown run, that was pretty, no doubt. But, man, him picking up that first down at that point in the game when it's 0-0, you're trying to get a jump on it. Huge play by him.
Yeah, the 46-yard touchdown run, I know not everybody has seen every scrimmage Anthony Grant has played in at Nebraska, but that was a routine play for him. That third down and 1 was a play. You can't simulate that contact right there that was initiated on him, and he's able to drive through. But he's got some potential in him. But what I love about him is his work ethic never changes. As fast as he ran down to score that touchdown, if that was practice, that's as fast as he'd have ran back to the huddle for the next play. And that's the type of kid he is, and he's always got a smile on his face. Even when I say disciplining, if I'm disciplining him or being rough on him, he's still smiling. And yes, coach, yes, sir. He's such a pleasure. They all are a pleasure to be around.
Coach, the second back that you got in was Jock.
Yes.
How did he grade out? What did you see from him, and how did he take the coaching from Saturday night to today?
Oh, Jock took it very personal because he made a couple of mistakes. He did some what I call some unjock-like things, but he bounced back later on in the game, and I think it was his first game with me. Obviously, in the venue like that, you're in Ireland. All right, we're the only football game going on in Europe that night, and his eyes got a little big, and so I sat him down for a little bit until he was able to collect his thoughts, because it was one of those things I always preach, like when everything hits the fan, you revert back to your training.
Right.
And he needed to just relax a little bit and get back into it, get back in the groove. But then when he did go back and play, he took advantage of the opportunities, and he did what I call jock-like things.
The third back he got in there, and I did a double take because I think we started the drive at the 7, was the freshman A.J. Allen. You must have some confidence in that young man. That was not an easy spot to put a guy in for his first college snap.
No, it was. A.J. he's got a different type of maturity level than most freshmen that I've coached. His facial expression never changes. He's about business. He's about football. He's about helping his team win. And so I did not flinch 1 minute when Coach Whip said, "Give me number 9." It's okay. There he goes. And he went in there and he produced. What I was proud about, I know people would see, he had the one good run on the fly sweep. But if you watch the game in detail, AJ had unbelievable eyes in the pass game, and he was able to pick up a couple blitzes that, you don't see freshman backs picking up the way he picked them up, which I was very encouraged. His physicality in that game was a lot better than what I anticipated, which is encouraging moving forward.
He must have shown you a lot during camp to gain your confidence to put him out there.
Yes. Like he and Anthony Grant and Jaquez, and they do a lot of things in practice that make me feel comfortable with them. AJ in particular, he has got a chance, like Anthony Grant, to make a routine play, something spectacular like you saw in Anthony's run. That was a routine run, like right there. Usually sometimes that goes for an 8-yard run, but he's able to make a guy miss in the hole and then break a tackle and then score a touchdown from long distance. And, A.J. Allen has that potential to do that as well. They all have that potential, but everyone was able to see Anthony Grant do that on Saturday.
You mentioned picking up blitzes in pass pro. How did that group do as a whole? Probably it can be better. I'm sure there were some examples of where they didn't pick it up as well, but overall, how did they do?
They did very well. They did very well. Like I've said before, I want a complete running back. So we work on catching the ball. We work on our footwork and our eyes in the run game, and we work on pass protection, some form of pass protection drill every day, because I don't want them, when they leave me, I don't want someone to say that, oh, he's only a third down back or he's only a first and second down back. I want them, he can play any down. And I take a lot of pride in that they are developed and they can be complete running backs, because if they can learn to become complete running backs, and they learn to become complete people.
One of your other guys, Cooper Jewett, made a pretty good play on special teams. I bet that made you feel good.
Oh, I was very proud of Cooper. I watched the whole thing. I watched it unfold, and I saw it come out, and I was like, Cooper's the one that's got to make this play. As I saw the kick return develop, and I knew Cooper was the last one on that left edge, and he did exactly what he was coached to do. And he go back the whole thing, reverted to his training, and there he was. He made the play and got the returner down. And now, all the running backs were excited about that. They came and high-fived him. And that was a good job by Cooper, and hopefully, we can continue with those type of little plays like that are difference-making plays as we move forward in the season.
Fantastic. Again, we're visiting Brian Applewhite. It's our Husker Football Radio Hour here on the Huskers Radio Network. Our Sports Alley Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. We'll have more with the coach coming up next.
Find your next truck at Woodhouse Buick GMC. No matter where you're heading or what tasks need tackling, there's a premium and capable GMC truck that's perfect for you. Make a statement on the job site, out on the town, or wherever life leads you in the powerful and distinctive Sierra 1500, or elevate your driving experience in the adventurous and innovative Canyon. Explore our inventory online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com or visit our indoor showroom today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. A record 54 Husker students earned the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship in the 2021-2022 academic year. This nationally competitive scholarship provides funding for study and internship abroad opportunities for high-achieving students who might not otherwise be able to afford them. Recipients include students from Crete, Norfolk, North Platte, Raymond, Omaha, and Lincoln.
This Saturday, join us for another jam-packed day of Huskers football as Nebraska takes on North Dakota. Our coverage begins with Ben McLaughlin and Huskers great Brennan Sty on Huskers game day at 10:30 a.m., followed by countdown to kickoff at 12:30 p.m. Greg Sharpe and Matt Davison will give you all the play-by-play from kickoff at 2:40 through the final whistle before they hand things off to Bill Dolman and Huskers great Jay Foreman for the fifth quarter show. Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody will talk to Scott Frost and Huskers players and the head coach and locker room shows before Matt Coatney and Jay Foreman wrap things up with your calls on Big Red Reaction. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger. making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hoegemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Every day, Central Valley Ag Cooperative works with our farmers to feed the globe. Embracing the cooperative spirit, CVA's innovative products and services in grain, agronomy, feed, and energy deliver world-class value to our members. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how we grow agriculture together at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
It's time to amp up the fun. Now during the Ford Summer Supercharged sales event. Just move on up. Get great offers on select Ford vehicles, and you'll not only bring back the fun, you'll supercharge it. So stop by the Summer Supercharged sales event at your Ford dealer and discover how Ford can take your summer to a whole new level. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for information. Just move on up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hi, thanks for telling my family and me about Toyota's national sales event.
Oh, you're welcome.
We got a new RAV4 during the event, and it's been great.
Well, that makes me happy. Right now through September 6th, it is the best time to drive off in a new Camry Hybrid, Tacoma, and more. So what are you up to?
You know, we took the RAV4 to a great spot. We've hiked, rafted, and now we're exploring a cave.
Amazing. You're inside a cave right now?
Yep.
Well, I'm glad the RAV4 could make it all happen.
Yeah, my wife talked me into spelunking. I'm actually a complete and absolute amateur. Huh, I could have done without the echo on that.
Toyota's national sales event is on. Visit your participating Toyota dealer today to enjoy every last second of summer. Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 6th.
I'm so glad we called SOS. RAC is the coldest.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Scrawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't the coldest, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition guaranteed. Take it from the coldest. We will keep you cool this summer.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
The name of our new promotion says it all. Powerball First Millionaire of the Year. Through September 12th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket at any Nebraska lottery retailer and enter the voucher number to win a trip to New York City for New Year's Eve on December 31st, 2022. Plus, you'll also get a chance to win $1 million and become the Powerball First Millionaire of 2023. Remember, this promotion ends on September 12th, so plan ahead and play today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
We're back inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are, again, of the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. It's our Husker Football Radio Hour. Delighted to have Brian Applewhite, Husker running backs coach, with us for another segment here. Huskers getting ready for the Hawks of North Dakota. I'm going to ask you about them here in a little bit, but how about the practice habits of your guys? You've now had them a full month here since we started in late July. What about the group? Are you satisfied with what they're giving you day in and day out?
I am. I'm extremely satisfied, but I'm always have a standard. We can always be better. We have a thing that we say we've got the standard, our culture, and the expectation never changes. And they're all three are the same things, and they all have to repeat it before we head out to practice every day. What's the running back standard here at Nebraska? What's the running back culture here at Nebraska? And what's the expectation of a Nebraska running back? And all three of those things are the same, and they repeat them because, to me it's important that they understand what I expect of them, what they should expect of each other, all right, and then what their teammates should see. And so it's when our teammates turn on the film, they need to see that we're the hardest working, most physical position group on the team in all aspects. And we watch it. And if there's a play that's not to that standard, that expectation, that culture, we correct that behavior because it's got to be consistency. Consistency is what makes everybody great. If you're consistently not doing things right, you're consistently going to be bad. But if you're consistently striving to be perfect in everything that you do in all aspects of your life, then you're going to start having success. And that's the message I'm trying to teach them and instill with them. And they've bought in, and they really, really push each other to live up to that expectation.
Coach Frost got asked after the game, we didn't see Gabe, didn't see Ramir in the backfield. We will at some point in time, won't we?
Yes. There were just, the game didn't play out the way. There were certain situations where we were thinking about getting Ramir into the game and do some things at the running back position, but the game wasn't flowing at sometimes the game where we wanted it, or those plays or those certain packages were not something that we think we needed at the time, especially early in the game when we were moving the ball well. It kind of broke down a little bit there in the fourth quarter, but the first three quarters, we were executing relatively at a high level, on most drives and most series, and we were moving the ball. We were sustaining drives, we're picking up first downs, and it's one game. It was the first game of the season. I remember, another thing Coach Glenn told me, 1997 when we won our second national championship, we lost our first game of the season. We went up to win 13-2 and won another national championship. And I talked to my guys a lot. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And with Ramir and Gabe, things are going to change. We got 12 games left, and things are going to change.
How did they handle not getting snaps on offense?
They were upset, but I wanted them to be that way. Because if they were just going to take it and handle it, then okay, I've got the wrong kids.
Yep.
They're competitors, but they not only are they competitors, they want to see Nebraska have success. And now on special teams, if you turn on a special teams tape and you watch Ramir Johnson and Gabe Irvin play on special teams, you'll see what type of competitors they are, especially Ramir Johnson on punt. Every time we punted, he was a gunner going down, and he forced fair catches every time. And, those are little things that sometimes people don't see and don't realize. But, you watch Ramir as a gunner on a punt returner. That was probably one of the best gunner performances I've seen in a long time, especially in the first game. And, like I said, our teammates need to see on film that we're the hardest working, most physical position group in all aspects, but all aspects also include special teams. And Ramir lived up to that standard, the culture, and the expectation in that.
I know he's not one of your guys, but Brian Buschini had a pretty good night.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen a punter punt like that. That was great. That was great. Hopefully we can sustain that.
Yeah, you take that all week and you're going to have some really good success in that phase. All right, here comes North Dakota. For the fans, they're probably going, this is an FCS school. But, man, they were in every game last year. They've got some ability. Talk about what you've seen from their defense as you studied them this week.
They're a dangerous FCS school. They base out of an odd front. They're going to have 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers the majority of the time. They do have some packages where they get into 2 defensive ends standing up where they'll look like our defense at times. They do a lot of twisting, a lot of blitzes. They're going to do a lot of things to create some kind of chaos for your offensive linemen up front and kind of create some chaos for the running backs, try and put them in positions where they're going to have bad eyes or in bad positions to pick up blitzes. They do several stunts away from the back. They do several stunts to the back when you're in gun. They do a good job of hiding their blitzes. They do a very good job of hiding their blitzes, especially with the demeanor of the defensive backs when they're blitzing. They really don't look like the demeanor that they're coming. All of a sudden, they come out of nowhere. The linebackers do a good job of holding their water before they bring a blitz. So we've got to be on our toes. It's going to be a great challenge. It's going to be going to be a great competitive game. We've got to make sure that we are disciplined in everything that we do, because the chaos that they try and create on defense for an offense can give you trouble. It can definitely give you trouble, and they were in every game last year. I've got a history with them. I played against them when I was in college. I opened up the first game in the Alara Center.
Wow!
And so I know what type of team there. I was a coach the first game they had the Alara Center back. I can't remember what year it was, but we flew out to Grand Forks and played. It's a beautiful center, but they've always been a dangerous team. And it's one of those teams where you can't take lightly at all.
Probably helps that you can put some stuff on tape for your guys to go, guys, they may not have the biggest name, but these cats can play a little bit, and just look at this and look at that.
Yep. Well, yeah, and our guys understand that. They understand that at every game, it's not the best team that plays, it's who plays the best. And you've got to come out every game, and that's, it's the day-to-day process. It shouldn't matter who you're playing. It's about how you play and how well you're going to play and how well you execute. And let the chips fall where they may after that. But you got to be the best version of you every day on every play, then hit repeat.
Thought Casey Thompson did some really good things in the football game.
He did, and I witnessed that live last year.
You probably sure did, yeah.
When Casey was at Texas and I was at TCU, I saw him run around, make some plays with his feet, extend plays with his feet, and hit guys that are wide open like he did in that game. I saw him take some tremendous shots, and he kept getting up. I mean, one was from O'Shawn Mathis. O'Shawn hit him really hard last year, and our whole intention was to bang Casey up last year when TCU played Texas to try and get to their backup quarterback, but that did not happen. Casey stood in the pocket, he took every hit and got back up and kept playing. He's a competitor, he's a tough kid, and again, I'm anxious to see how much better we are from game 1 to game 2 at all positions.
You've not been at a home game at Memorial Stadium?
I have not.
And you've got guys in your room that haven't played a home game here. It's going to be exciting.
Oh, yeah. I had a lot of guys that hadn't played a game for Nebraska.
Right.
And the first one to do it was in Ireland. So, that I'm excited about this because I know, growing up where I grew up, I know about Husker football. And there's no place like Nebraska. And I tell everybody that. I was like, I cannot describe what Lincoln is like on a day-to-day basis when it comes to anyone that's wearing a Cornhusker uniform. It's an unbelievable place. It's and I'm excited for Saturday. Just not only for myself, but for the players and for the fans and for people that haven't been in Nebraska to a Nebraska football game. I'm just extremely excited because I just know how much the state and the fans around the country love the Cornhuskers, and I just cannot wait for the opportunity to come on Saturday at 2:30.
How do you coach the guys to certainly be excited and fired up, but not to the point where they lose their mind and they lose what they're supposed to do? How do you kind of coach that fine line right there?
It is a fine line, and I just continue to push, be aggressive coaching, always pushing. You can be better, you can go harder, more physical, attention to detail, to where all of a sudden their focus is I want to get them where their focus is so set on what they're doing that everything else around them becomes irrelevant. The faster you practice, and the faster you can practice during the week, the slower the game is going to be on Saturday. And so I push that to where they get to the point, like, again, if you push them hard enough and fast enough and correct the little mistakes where now it all becomes muscle memory, the game slows down, and now you're able to focus.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. You mentioned earlier that first time you'd coach with any of these guys on this staff, Coach Whipple on down through the line. Can that get better? How was that? And have you guys talked as a staff this week about, okay, we need to do this or that or differently than we did week 1?
Oh, yeah. I think, Coach Whipple is he's an amazing play caller. And it really is got to come down to execution, and as coaches, we got to get our kids to understand what we're trying to get out of every play, understand the look, so we can execute at a high level on a 100% basis.
Yeah.
You're always striving for perfection. We can, I know on my part, I can probably do a lot better job of communicating in between drives with Coach Whipple. I'm not saying that it was bad, but I always look at myself in the mirror first and okay, what could I have done better? You know, and I always, I look at, after every drive, because I've watched the game 10 times. I watched it 3 times on the plane, fell asleep, got up. When I got back to my apartment, I watched it again, came to the office and watched it again. But then I started charting drives. Okay, what could I have done better in between drives? How could I have helped Anthony? How could I have helped AJ? How could I have helped Yant? What could I have, maybe it might have been a little more words of encouragement during the game. I don't know. I got to look at myself more before I talk to anything else about it. But as this week progressed and as we did talk about it, there's more things that we can do as an offensive staff to help each other. I might see something that Mickey didn't see as I'm watching the running back. I might see a wide receiver pop open late, and I can say, hey, Mickey, we might need to come back to this, and tell Coach Whip about a play action or something. But, I'm excited because I think the kids understand what the level of expectation that we want out of them. Everybody's hurting about that game. Everybody is.
Do you find some leaders coming out of a game like that?
You do.
You do. Okay, don't get it going. Get it going.
Yeah, you do. You find them after the game, after a loss like that, because you can tell right away. Okay, who's throwing the towel, or who? Hey, we got to stand up and fight. And, we had more of the, hey, we got to stand up and fight than guys that doing. I don't think anybody throwing the towel now I think about it. You know what I mean? But, as you've been coaching for so long, you always look at that. It could have been the last game of the season, the middle of the game of the season, when you have a close loss and you lose to a team that you felt like you should have beaten, or a game that you should have won, that somehow you lost it and you didn't execute. You look for that. And we did not have anybody in the locker room on the bus or that was pointing fingers. Everyone was like, okay, I got to do better, not you got to do better.
Jessica said one player she noticed really fired up was Thomas Fedoni, who was not going to play. He's not ready to come back yet, but she said that guy was really popping around and trying to encourage as many teammates. It's going to be good to get him back.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a talented kid.
And he's like that at practice.
Really?
Even he's not even practicing, but he's standing there with the guys at practice, encouraging, coaching, just getting guys fired up. He's such a pleasure to be around. I love talking to him in between segments at practices because he was out there rehabbing before practice, where, he's running, he's catching some routes, and then when practice starts, he's right there in the middle with the guys. It's almost like he is practicing even though he's not.
Coach Beckton's ready to get him on the field, I think.
Oh, yeah. We all are.
Well, I know it was disappointing. It was as I told people all week, it was a really good trip other than the outcome of the game. And it was a really good football game. The TV numbers were phenomenal. I mean, most of the country watched that football game. And it was a good game. But just play here, play there made the difference.
Yep, and it is. It's 4 games. It's 4 plays, 4 on offense, 4 on defense that change the outcome of a game. And, when you sit down, we watched 16 clips on offense. 8 of them, hey, this is the level, this is what we expect. The other 8 was, this is not what we expect. Think about if we had 16 clips of what we expected, what the outcome of that game would have been.
Changes it.
Yep.
Usually a lot of games come down to 4 or 5 plays.
Yes, they do.
Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Let's finish the prep strong, and let's go get the Hawks on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Go Big Red.
There he is, Brian Applewhite, with us here on our Football Coaches Show. Hey, if the Huskers return the first or second half opening kickoff for a touchdown, you can be a winner of $54,000 worth of credit on a new vehicle from any Woodhouse Auto Family dealership this season. A contestant will be chosen every week. If you want to get registered, go to huskers.com/Woodhouse for official rules and how to get yourself entered. Back to wrap up tonight's show next.
Supporting student athletes has always been a defining pillar of being a Big Ten institution. And now we are coming together for one big week to raise funds for student support programs. Join Nebraska Athletics' efforts to assemble the best academic support packages through the Invest Fund to recruit and retain high-achieving student athletes from across our state and country. Visit huskers.com/onebigweek to donate by September 7th.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. Nebraska has the most technically advanced buildings in the Big Ten, according to an annual review of universities across the country. Nebraska has also saved over $85 million over the past 17 years by making long-term investments in clean, reliable energy sources, cutting-edge automation, and collaborations across campus.
I'm so glad we called SOS. RAC is the coldest.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Crawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't the coldest, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Take it from Dakotas. We will keep you cool this summer.
Every day, Central Valley Ag Cooperative works with our farmers to feed the globe. Embracing the cooperative spirit, CVA's innovative products and services in grain, agronomy, feed, and energy deliver world-class value to our members. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how we grow agriculture together at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Our chat with the coach tonight, proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel Seedsman place products to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com. Jerry in Rockport texted in and said, I just lost it. There it is. Coach, I'm so glad you are our running backs coach. The focus, attention to detail, and toughness you instill in your room is great. Go Big Red. Jerry, I totally agree with that. That's great. Tim in Minnesota said, don't forget, we had a heck of a game with McNeese State in 2014. That was an FCS opponent. That's exactly right. That was the one that Amir Abdullah kind of bailed us out with a great catch and run late in that game to beat McNeese State. North Dakota, they are 4-5. They were 5-6 a year ago. This sounds so familiar, doesn't it, folks? 5-6. They had either the lead or a chance to take the lead in every game last year. They lost to their in-state rivals, North Dakota State, 16-10. The Bison went on to win the national championship. These guys will come to fight. I mean, and there's a couple of Nebraska guys that play quite a bit for them. You know, they're going to be excited to play in Memorial Stadium. They'll strap it up. They'll get after the Huskers on Saturday. So Nebraska just can't sleepwalk their way through this game. Speaking of our coverage on Saturday, Husker Game Day with Ben McLaughlin. Brendan Stye begins at 10:30. I'll be along with Matt Coatney for countdown to kickoff around 12:30 on Saturday, and then Matt will join me, and Jessica will join us down on the sidelines for kickoff. Set for 2:40 Saturday afternoon. Going to be warm. Hydrate, folks. Hydrate. We don't have a show tomorrow night. We have Husker volleyball. First serve at 6, JB Lauren Cook West. 5:30 pregame coverage from the Devaney Center as they take on Loyola Marymount. We're back, though, with a full show for you on Friday. We'll have the picks. Yay. Love it. Have the picks. I like that. So the pick segment coming your way on Friday night. It's Revenge Tour 2 for Friday night's picks. Our chat with the coach tonight, brought to you by Channel. Channel Seedsman places products to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com. Great show tonight. Thanks to Tim and Andrew for steering the ship on this one. Thanks for Coach Applewhite for coming in. Have yourself a great night. We'll do it again tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Lo hace por derecha, busca hacia la zona, está dentro, anotación, Huskers!
Hey Huskers fans, this Saturday, the Huskers Radio Network is proud to present Nebraska football in Espanol. Coverage of the Huskers matchup with North Dakota begins at 2:30 p.m. Central. Tune in at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your premier John Deere dealership and proud partner of Nebraska Athletics. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.